Hey everyone, it is Yvonne Emile Elizondo from Silver Moon Astrology and Transpersonal Counseling. And I am here because I'm doing an astrology update. I just lost my train of thought. Oh, geez. Okay, not on Adderall today. Totally not on Adderall. Look, if you're going to catch me on good days, when I've actually taken my medication, it's probably going to be Monday, Thursday, and Friday, because those days I'm absolutely booked back to back to back to back, like for 8 to 10 hours sometimes. Those days I absolutely need the Adderall. Other days, it just kind of depends on the day, see how you catch me. And today is one of those days where I don't even know if I took Adderall, if it would actually like help. But anyways, we'll just go along because we do have an astrology update. It is the new moon in Leo. I want to show you the chart and I want to talk a little bit about new moons and what they mean. And yeah, let's do from that. Let's go from there. That's what I meant. Let's go from there. I invent my own language. It's because Mercury retrograde is at the top of my chart, and it's on my midheaven. And so words just fly out and sometimes they don't even make sense, but that's okay. It's all good. You're used to it by now. Okay, let's take a look at the chart for this new moon and let's explore what new moons mean. So before I do that, okay, so guess who was born on the new moon? Yep, new moon, almost like 30 minutes, just as the sun and the moon were coming to an exact by minute aspect. So my new moon is within half a degree of the exact moon, which means that the energy is pretty strong in me when it comes to new moon stuff. Let's take a look at what new moon stuff actually means. Okay, well, when the sun and the moon get together, right? It's the moon represents your emotional default response, right? The sun represents how you use your energy. And so when these two come together, new moon people like myself tend to have a really difficult time separating, okay, the sense and feeling of our emotional default response and how we express it out into the world. So however I'm feeling is probably what you're going to see, is probably what you're going to, experience from me. There isn't much of a filter between what I am experiencing emotionally and what I'm putting out there. Yeah. And so new moon babies, new moon people tend to have that. We tend to just express as we feel, because when the sun is how we are expressing ourselves in this universe, and the moon is the emotional, right? The emotion, the waxing and waning of these emotions, and you put them together, they don't function separately, they function the same. Now, if you want to add a different layer to that, I also have Venus as a pretty good tight conjunction, okay, with the sun, the moon, and now Venus. And so Venus represents love and affection and beauty and aesthetics and really wanting that connection, right? That grace. Well, I'm not calling myself graceful, but hey, a lot of astrology people say that it's graceful, so I'll take it. But so all three of these planets actually manifest as one in my chart. Now, in your chart, it could be a little different. And so if you're interested in learning more about your chart, and if you're born on a new moon, these might be some of the qualities that you experience. It's kind of like the Fool in the tarot. The Fool is the zero card in the tarot, right? There's this freshness, this newness. The moon is starting a new cycle upon the new moon, okay? And so there's this essence of being maybe sensitive to these emotional energies that we have to deal with. So new moon babies tend to be more sensitive to emotion and emotional responses in particular. We also have, like I said, we don't have much of a filter. So whatever we feel is what we're going to express. And much like the tarot and the Fool in the tarot, although there's this brand new excitement of coming in and learning a new phase of life, for example, new opportunities, new experiences, along with that comes the uncertainty, okay, and maybe the instability. Now, sometimes you could consider me unstable, okay, but not very often, I hope. I'll leave that one up to you. But there is this sense of instability or maybe uncertainty that happens with new moon people, right? So, and how that manifests will depend on the rest of the chart. But for the most part, new moon babies are very much about their emotional experience in this life. That we almost can't separate the emotion from everything that we do. If we do finances, emotions involved. If we do relationships, emotions involved. That's probably a good place for emotions to happen. If we do career, emotions are involved. And so if we do children, emotions are involved. If we do hobbies, emotions are involved. And whatever it is, there's an emotional factor that's always associated with new moon babies. Thus, in tomorrow's new moon, for example, in new moons, we do have that initiating factor of, in this particular new moon, would be that Leo essence, that fire essence, right? So again, there's this emotional, energetic manifestation that happens with new moons. Now with witchy work or with energy work, new moon is not really a particularly great time, in my opinion, to do a lot of magical work. And that's because the new moon can't really be seen, right? It's a dark moon. You don't have the reflection of the sun as you do in the full moon. And so things are symbolically considered hidden. They're considered dark, they're considered asleep. Oopsie, they're considered asleep. And so it's not necessarily a great time to do a lot of magical work unless you're intending to do dark work, but to each their own. And so there's an essence of rest that happens. I swear, if this door opens on its own, I'm going to about freak out because nobody else is home and I just heard the doorknob. I know the air went off, but this was different. Okay, y'all let me know if this door opens because I will absolutely freak out. Okay, back to totally sidetracked. Back to the chart. So let me show you the chart, this new moon chart. Here we go. All right. Okay, here is the new moon. It happens on, I think it's 12:54 p.m. Again, the 28th, which would be Thursday, the 28th. So here is the new moon. See how I mentioned that the moon and the moon and the sun are together. So there's a natural expression of both energies. It is a fire moon in Leo. We're going to talk about that Leo energy. It is connecting beautifully by trine to Jupiter station. Now this is biggie. Okay, Jupiter right now is in Aries, another fire sign. And so those two components are going to be very important in this new moon. The other part of this new moon that is a little bit more tension oriented is Mercury in Leo. Okay, it is squaring, okay, Uranus and Mars and the North Node in Taurus. And then this Uranus Mars conjunction is squaring Saturn retrograde in Aquarius. And this is opposing this Mercury. All right, this is a lot of tension. Like, do y'all see, like, look how tightly these are. And so this to me represents a lot of tension, especially in the fixed signs. Leo is fixed. It doesn't go somewhere very easily. It's fixed fire. Taurus is fixed earth. And then Aquarius is fixed air. So we have a lot of fixed energy. And then we also have this new moon that is opposing, okay, it's the degree has passed, but it's opposing this Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. Now it is an out of sign opposition, so it's not really strong, but there's still an influence there. Whenever Pluto's involved with the moon, even if it's an out of sign, I tend to get a little nervous about that. Okay. Ooh, that's a lot. All right, so let's start with, I should probably pull the chart up so I can see myself and not forget. Here we go. You won't see the chart. I'm going to see the chart because I'm going to make it really, really small. So this way I know what I'm talking about. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's start off with this Leo new moon. Okay, this Leo new moon, it's fire energy. It's comfortable fire. It's fixed fire. I've always described Leo energy or Leo fire like that comfortable fire in a cabin, right? You walk in and it's just kind of going all of the time. It doesn't burn things down necessarily, and it's not initiating anything. It's not explosive. It's just very comfortable. And so this new moon on its own tomorrow would make me feel like, wow, this is a great time to do some self-care. Okay, that Leo energy is all about them. Okay, that Leo energy is going to place themselves first, and then they're going to say, come on over and enjoy my fire with me. So they're not necessarily a selfish energy per se, the Leo energy, but it tends to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to focus on me, and then if I'm good, I can make sure you all are good. And that's really the vibe for this. If anything else, the vibe for this Leo new moon makes me feel like it would be a great time to do some self-care. Take care of yourself. Sit by a fire. Well, maybe not right now during summer, especially in Central Texas, because yeah, that would be a bad idea. But I don't know, sit by the pool. Yeah, there you go. If you're not allergic, like I'm allergic to chlorine, so I don't sit by a pool. But if you are not allergic, sit by a pool. Take a book, put your shades on, get your floppy hats on, ladies, right? And gentlemen, just go out there and, you know, put your flip-flops on and just kind of, I don't know, just clean the pool. I don't know. Or opposite, men read, women clean pool. I don't care. Okay, this isn't a gender thing at all. So anyhow, this is a very comfortable moon, ideally. If that's all you're going to hear, that's all you're going to hear. But now I'm going to add the remainder of the astrology to this new moon. So we have this new moon that's trining Jupiter in Aries. Now, let's talk a little bit about Jupiter, because Jupiter is an energy that is expansive, and whatever it touches in the chart, it's going to expand it. It's going to want to seek more knowledge, seek more truth. That's why it's known as the guru in the chart, because it wants to learn and it gets satiated with like knowledge and movement and travel and expansiveness. Okay, so this station energy is very strong because Jupiter is almost stopped in the sky. It looks like it's stopped from our perspective, and it's going to turn retrograde. Oi. So this planet right now is stopping, and it not obviously not really, but from our perspective, and it's the energy that's manifesting is any planet that is turning retrograde or is in retrograde doesn't seem to function quite correctly. We tend to see either the lower polarity or a lot of internalization from that type of energy. And so this Jupiter energy, when it turns retrograde, it is big, right? So whatever you touch, it touches, it tends to be big now, or expansive, or more, or okay. Now think about this. Jupiter retrograde, Jupiter station to go retrograde, is going to manifest expansiveness, and it is in a fire sign, Aries, the explosive fire sign of Aries. Okay, you take big gas and you take explosive fire, and what are you going to get? Okay, now in this new moon, however, I feel that this energy can work in our favor because the new moon is fire Leo, and this Jupiter energy is fire Aries. And so two fire signs get along pretty well. So even though there's a potential for things to maybe get out of control or get to grow too quickly or become too expansive, I don't feel that it's anything that you wouldn't be able to control. So in fact, this Leo energy, this new moon in Leo makes me feel like growth is an opportunity at this time. So not only self-care, but if you take self-care into consideration as part of growth, as part of comfort, as part of relaxation, okay, and maybe seeking an opportunity to learn more about stuff, okay, becoming more wise, being more spiritual, or just initiating a new project, a new intention at this time is absolutely perfect. Okay, now let's get into so Jupiter is going to officially turn retrograde. I think it's the 1st or the 2nd of August. And then I will give you an update on this Jupiter retrograde here in another video, but this is the energy that we're really working with this new moon. All right, so now let's talk about that tension between Mercury, Leo, Mars, Uranus in Taurus, and Saturn retrograde in Aquarius. And all of these are fixed signs. Again, fixed signs means that the energy isn't easy to move. It's pretty stubborn. It is, stuck in its ways. It's got its perspective, but it's also solid. Okay, and it's consistent. And so the tension between these three, wherever the apex is, Okay, the apex is between Mars, Uranus, and the North Node in Taurus. So that makes me feel like that's where we're going to see a lot more of that manifestation of this tension between these energies. Now, Mercury represents the mind, communication, thinking. It is the messenger, and it wants to move. And in Leo, it really wants to express that Leo energy. That Leo energy is sometimes self-serving. Okay, it sometimes is about me, me, me. I need a lot of attention. Mercury in Leo can sometimes struggle with a lot of self-confidence if it doesn't get the attention that it needs, right? So when Mercury is connecting to Jupiter, to Mars and Uranus in Taurus, this makes me feel like there's a potential for burning down the house. Okay, burning down the house. Yeah, anyhow, so because Mars is action, it's motivation, it's stressor, right? It's fire. And when it gets together with Uranus, it is unstable fire. Sometimes we have candle fire, right? Candle fire is kind of predictable. You light the candle, you see the flame, and ta-da. This is different. Mars in Uranus is more erratic electrification of Earth, right? Of the magnetic fields of Earth, because it is in Taurus. So it's not fire, like burning down the house fire necessarily, okay? But it is bringing sudden erratic electrification that could burn down the house, and house being Taurus energy, of course. And then we have this square with Saturn retrograde in Aquarius, and Aquarius energy is air, and Saturn is very strong in Aquarius, super strong in Aquarius. It's at home in Aquarius, but it's retrograde, so it's not functioning correctly. So there may be this need for Mercury to want to go out and express itself. There's an erratic instability coming from this energy manifestation, and then Saturn may be like, no, absolutely no movement, or this isn't going to work, and it creates like this tension between all of these energies, which may not work out well, thus burning down or electrifying the house down. Okay, so what does this mean for us? Well, hey, this is what I would do. I would make sure I'm taking care of myself. Okay, I would make sure that I set the intention this lunar month in Leo to really focus on self-care, knowledge, spiritual growth, understanding. Okay, with connection with that Jupiter energy stationed in Aries. Okay, it's an initiating energy, great time to initiate new stuff, whatever that may mean for you. But I would also be very mindful and careful of how you might be perceiving or approaching, okay, this lunar month, because there could be the potential for, misunderstanding or miscommunication, or not being able to allow yourself to move beyond your own belief system, or move beyond your own self-serving needs, right? And if that happens, then it could potentially create instability, okay, or sudden changes that need to happen, and life comes and says, oh, really? This is what you're going to believe? Let me show you otherwise. And then you're pickled. Okay, so be open-minded, be very aware of when you're being restrictive in your own thinking. Maybe you're not allowing trust to happen in your life, or maybe you're not trusting yourself, and thus life comes in and says, well, here we go, now you have to deal with it one way or another. And that's what we don't want to happen, because we don't want to burn down the house with lightning, electricity, whatever it is, fire, candle. Okay, that's pretty much it. We do have a saving grace, and it is this beautiful essence between Venus and Mars. I didn't show you on the chart, but I'm looking at it right now. This Venus is in Cancer right now. It's she does pretty well in Cancer. Okay, there's this just lovely nurturing energy that happens with Venus in Cancer, and she's connecting pretty well with this Uranus Mars energy in Taurus. So that may be a little bit of a settling energy, but you have to intentionally tap into it, right? The grace of Venus and love. So maybe a little bit nurturing is what we need, and nurturing and self-care are perfect together. Woo! I got through that one. All right, everyone. If you stayed till the end and you watched, awesome. Okay, thanks for supporting. Thanks for watching the videos. I love astrology. I hope you do too. My goal is always just to teach you a little bit more about it each time, not in very technical terms, because I don't want to lose you. But if you do want to learn the technical aspect of astrology, or if you want to learn more about your chart, reach out. We can schedule a consultation and go from there. You can find me at spiritual. Yeah, I say that every time. That's my old place. You can find me at silvermooncounseling.org, silvermooncounseling.org. All right, everyone, take care. Blessed be.